I'm 79 years old now. I say that slowly because the number still surprises me when it leaves my mouth. I didn't picture myself getting this old. Not because I thought I'd die young, but because I never really pictured the end at all. I was always living a little ahead of myself, assuming I'd catch up later. When people hear the word advice, they imagine confidence, clean lessons, something neatly learned and clearly explained. That's not what this is. What I have comes from years of misunderstanding my own life while I was inside it. I wake up earlier than I need to. My body does that on its own now. The house is quiet in the mornings, so quiet I can hear the refrigerator hum and the clock tick in the kitchen. Those sounds used to annoy me. Now they feel like company. Most of my life was loud, not with noise, but with obligation. There was always something that needed doing, someone who needed me to be practical, steady, dependable. I became very good at that. So good that I forgot there were other ways to be. When I was young, I believed being useful was the same as being loved. If you showed up, kept things running, didn't complain, you earned your place. That belief carried me a long way. It also cost me more than I understood at the time. I married in my early 20s. He wasn't dramatic or romantic. He was solid. Everyone approved. That mattered to me more than I admitted. I wanted a life that made sense to other people. I thought that was how you knew you were doing it right. We worked hard. We raised children. We paid bills. We rarely stopped moving long enough to ask each other how we were really doing. When you're busy surviving, reflection feels like a luxury. I told myself this was adulthood, that the heaviness was normal, that fulfillment was something you felt later, after you'd earned it. I was always earning, never collecting. In my 30s and 40s, I lived by lists, grocery lists, to-do lists, mental lists of things not to forget. My days were full, but they were thin. I don't remember many of them clearly. They blur together now, like pages turned too quickly. There were moments I felt something stir, a sense that I was missing my own life while managing it. I pushed that feeling aside. It felt irresponsible, ungrateful. I had children who were healthy, a roof over our heads. Who was I to want more? So I learned to quiet myself. That's something no one warns you about. How easy it is to become very good at ignoring your own voice. How permanent that skill can feel once it's practiced long enough. The years passed. My children grew. They became busy, as they should. I was proud of them, deeply. But when they no longer needed me the way they once did, I felt strangely unanchored. I hadn't prepared for that part. I had built my sense of worth on being necessary. My marriage became polite, comfortable. We knew each other's routines, but not always each other's fears. We assumed time would take care of what we didn't. Time rarely does. I don't remember the exact moment I realized I was lonely inside my own life. It wasn't dramatic. It came quietly, during an ordinary afternoon, when I noticed how little of myself I was sharing with anyone. I had become efficient, not intimate. I told myself it was fine. Many people live this way. That was true. It just wasn't the same as being content. In my 60s, my body started to change its rules. Things hurt that never had before. Energy became something I had to plan around. Friends started getting sick. Funerals appeared on the calendar more often than weddings. That's when time stopped feeling endless. My husband died a few years later. No long illness, just gone. One phone call that split my life into before and after. I remember standing in the kitchen after everyone left, looking at the chair where he used to sit, realizing how many conversations we had postponed. There's a particular kind of regret that comes when the other person is no longer here to hear you. It's not loud. It just settles in and stays. After that, the world slowed down whether I wanted it to or not. I had space. Too much of it at first. Silence has a way of forcing honesty on you. I began to see my life clearly. Not as a story, but as a collection of choices made for sensible reasons that added up to something I hadn't intended. None of my regrets are about big mistakes. I didn't ruin my life. I lived it responsibly. That's almost harder to sit with, because there's no single thing to blame. Just patterns, habits, delays. I delayed joy because it didn't feel urgent. I delayed honesty because it felt uncomfortable. I delayed rest because it felt unearned. I delayed saying what mattered because I assumed there would be another chance. That assumption is the quiet lie we all make deals with. Now, at this age, advice feels strange. I can't give you certainty. I can only tell you what became painfully clear too late for me to change much.